Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another Epidose of the Ketogenic Fasting Project. My name is Tom. I'm a full-time carnivore, and I like to make videos that help other people. So anyways, today I'm talking about 4 easy steps to make a perfect hard-boiled egg. Now, when it comes to cooking, I have to be very selective about what I eat because I'm trying to permanently get rid of my psoriasis. You can see where I was. I don't know if the camera's ever going to focus on it, but you can kind of see that, well, it used to be everywhere. There's still some right here. But anyways, I was using a plan, eating and workout plan from a guy named John Anderson, and he recommended eating eggs. And when you look at eggs nutritionally, you know it's pretty obvious that they're hard to beat. They're hard to beat for the value and nutritional density, the contents. You know, the yolk is loaded with all kinds of vitamins and cholesterol and fat and stuff like that. You know, things like choline, stuff like that could be hard to get in other foods. And eggs tend to be relatively inexpensive. And fortunately, I get quite a few from my cousin who raises his own chickens and has these eggs from, essentially homegrown with a nice varied diet. They're not just, industrial farm chickens. But I tried a different kind of egg because John Anderson had recommended getting the eggs with the extra omega-3 in them. So I bought these, and there's something I noticed here. I noticed this. I bought a frozen duck recently. I had a hard time finding fresh duck, but you can see here it says vegetarian fed hens. I bought the duck, and it said right on there, vegetable diet. I think it's sad. These birds are supposed to be eating, bugs and stuff like that. Anybody who raises chickens will tell you chickens, they eat mice, they eat each other, they eat all kinds of stuff. They're known for eating bugs and worms and stuff like that. They just don't eat vegetables or seeds, just chicken feed. But anyways, I bought these. I think this is a brand that's pretty widely available, and as you can see, it's got the extra omega-3 in it. Sorry, there you go. So it's got less saturated fat somehow than regular eggs. This is all through manipulating the chicken's diet, I guess. So I don't know that. I didn't do a lot of homework. I just got these on recommendation. I was going to follow somebody else's plan and see how it goes, and it went really well, except I seem to be having a reaction to the eggs. Psoriasis flared up, unfortunately, and I stopped eating the eggs. But I had quite a few eggs because when I went and bought them, I bought, I don't know, 6 or 8 18 packs because I was planning on eating a couple of packs a day, or a pack a day is what it was. So I bought basically a week's worth. So I was going to eat 18 eggs a day, and then the psoriasis flared up. But then I was listening to a podcast, Human Performance Outliers podcast, and Zach was saying that when he doesn't cook the egg whites real well, he would get stomach cramps. And the guest, whose name I've forgotten, I should have looked it up. I should have been prepared. But the guest had said that he could eat hard-boiled eggs or his psoriasis would flare up. And I thought, well, geez, I got a refrigerator full of eggs I haven't eaten yet. Let me try and hard-boil them, see if it works. So I've started an experiment. I've been eating hard-boiled eggs the last 3 days or so, something like that. I've been eating, probably like 5 or 6 a day, something like that. So I'll probably ramp it up, because so far I haven't noticed any reaction from the psoriasis. So it is possible that the flare-up I had before that I thought was caused by eggs, or more specifically egg whites, which seems to be the trigger for most people, could have been from something else. I know sometimes, like, I get a spider bite or something, I start itching, and it seems to kick the psoriasis back up, and, or, it could have been something else I ate. So it's hard to say. And these things, these flare-ups and the recovery and stuff like that can take such a long time to really know whether it's getting better or worse. It could be weeks before you're really sure. And unless you're meticulously eliminating things from your diet constantly, dairy and eggs are a common problem. And of course, that may not be true of all dairy, because it's probably, in most cases, it's probably the casein, casein A1 in the dairy that aggravates people's autoimmune diseases, and that only comes from Holstein cows. The other cows usually have the casein A2 protein in them. So, and of course, the other thing I tried on this diet was a whey isolate. Excuse me. So I instead of just eating meat, I also ate the eggs and some whey isolate. And whey is a protein that's extracted from milk, but most people don't have any sort of allergic reaction to it. So I thought I'd give it a try, mostly because it was recommended to me for this program and it's convenient. I work out in the middle of the day from work. I work, and then I take a break. I go to the gym, and I go back to work. And I carry all my food with me. We don't have a kitchen at work. We have a microwave and a coffee maker and a very tiny sink. So it's not a lot of amenities there. I don't really want to buy food all the time. So I try and get stuff prepped, take it with me, make it as convenient as possible. And of course, 100 grams of protein from a shake, well, all I have to do is add water and literally shake it. Has its appeals just because of the simplicity, the portability, and stuff like that. So I'm also trying that, which I'd imagine a lot of people argue that it's not necessarily carnivore because it's a whey isolate from dairy. But even if you do think dairy is carnivore, then it's a processed food. So, and I realize it's probably less than ideal from a philosophical standpoint, or a really broad strategy. It's processed, or it could be something else to it. Just like these these chickens are fed probably less than an optimal diet for a chicken, but there is some extra vitamins in there. So nothing's perfect. And of course, I only have so much time and so much money to spend on things. So I think everybody just kind of needs to work out what they can do with their time and their money. Those are two things that we're always trying to budget, right? And we're trying to manage our health, but you can't necessarily say everything that's slightly off the beaten path is a landmine, because it's not, and it's going to depend on the individual, how much resources you have, and what your goals are. Right now, my goal is lifting weights, putting on muscle, and getting leaner. I like lifting weights. When I came down to it and I was feeling good again and I was going to go back to the gym, I really did it because I wanted to lift. And feeding those growing muscles was a priority. It also gave me an opportunity to try and experiment with eating more and more frequently. I typically only ate once or twice a day, did more or less of, an unintentional intermittent fasting most of the time, which is a good strategy for, weight loss and a number of other things, or, if you're just going to eat when you feel hungry. But there's also another strategy, and I hadn't really tried this strategy before. But for optimal muscle growth, it's a good strategy, getting the information from a professional. So I wanted to kind of expand my horizons and try a new technique, and that's what I've been doing. But it led me to experimenting with hard-boiled eggs. Now, one of the things I don't have like I said, is a lot of free time, and I don't have a lot of patience for cooking and cleaning up. I like to get as much done as I can at one time. And so having hard-boiled eggs prepared, obviously they last a long time. Even regular eggs last a long time in the refrigerator. So hard-boiled eggs are a nice discrete unit. You can, it's easy to say, oh, I'm eating, I ate 3 of these or whatever. You don't have to weigh it out. They're all pretty uniform. So anyways, what you want to do, the first step is just to leave your eggs in the fridge so they're cold. Put some water on the stove to boil. When you get the water boiling, then you put the cold eggs straight from the fridge into the water. I don't know why it clicks past. So one of the things I noticed is sometimes you get an egg that floats. I did have an egg that floated. I threw it away. You will find out that some of these eggs have a little crack and they'll release a little egg white into the water. It's a mess, and it's going to stick to your pot, but it's not really a problem, I would say. If I got one that's just exploding in there, I'll fish it out and throw it in the trash. But otherwise, it's more of an unsightly thing than a real problem. So anyways, this is like probably like a 9-inch pot, something like that, and 14 eggs fits in there nicely. So what you want to do is you want to boil them for exactly 13 minutes. This one, oh, I could set this one for 14 minutes, I think. I did an experiment because some people recommend 12 minutes, 13 minutes, 14 minutes. I couldn't really say it mattered that much, anywhere from 12 to 14 minutes. I think what it really comes down to is how much the cold eggs cool down your water and how fast you can get back to a boil. But I'd say anywhere from 12 to 14 minutes, you're good. So for the sake of argument, let's say 13 minutes. This sets the timer. I tried to take a picture of the stupid timer. I don't know how many times, but because of the light in the room, I couldn't get a good photo. So anyways, just threw that in there. So you're going to boil some water. Once it's boiling, put the cold water in it. Let it go for 12 to 14 minutes. And then when it's done, you're going to dump out the boiling water and put in ice water and chill those eggs really fast. And then the thing I hated the most was peeling the stupid eggs. So you take the eggs, sorry about these slides. You're going to take these eggs, you're going to put them in a plastic container like this. It's just a Tupperware, Rubbermaid, whatever you want to call it, plastic container. And you're going to put the lid on, and then you're going to shake it. Now, one of the videos, and I'll try and link some of the other videos if anybody cares to watch, because I watched several videos on this, because I wanted to not waste my time, basically, and standing there peeling eggs, especially when I don't want to peel. It's just tedious nonsense that I don't want to be bothered with. You can buy eggs that are already hard-boiled and peeled. They are more expensive, they do come packed in plastic, floating some kind of little bit of liquid, and I don't know, some kind of preservative, I'm sure. Now, I bought them before. I thought they were fine. Other people told me that they thought the flavor was kind of off, and it kind of bothered them. And of course, I already had these eggs, and it's less expensive. So if I could do it in a timely manner, and I could knock this out in 20 minutes. So for me, cooking 14 eggs in 20 minutes. And of course, if I wanted to run another batch right after that, I'm already set up and go on it. I could knock out some more, and I could have quite a stash in my fridge, take some with me to work every day. When you have food like this handy and convenient, you're not gonna be tempted to stop and buy fast food or whatever because you're hungry, you don't have anything. When your meals are prepped and you're ready to go, you take them with you. You have your system all set up, and you make it easy for yourself. You're more likely to follow through and do it, right? So anyways, you shake these the eggs in the container with the lid on. The chef that suggested that said shake it 40 times. Well, the first time I shook it, I wasn't thinking, oh, that guy has little tiny arms and he probably didn't shake it very hard. So I shook it hard 40 times. And so when I got done, some of the eggs are completely peeled. There was no shell on them at all. And some of them, the broken shells had kind of scratched the outside, kind of chipped it a little bit. Nothing major, but I shook it a little more gently this time, and some of them were nicely cracked and some weren't. But you can literally just start pulling the shell off, and it can. Some of them will just come off in one big piece when you shake them like this. Now, there's also a technique of rolling them on the counter, and it worked pretty good. This actually worked better and is faster. So you can see this one here, I shook real gently, and a couple of these, like this egg right here, wasn't cracked that much. So somewhere between a hard, vigorous shake, you might only need to do it like 20 times, and sort of a medium shake at 40 times. And then these things peel really fast. I rinse them off to get the little pieces of shell off so they don't get stuck between my teeth. And these are just kind of some shots of this is how they came out. So like I said, anywhere from about 12 to 14 minutes, call it 13 minutes. They look perfect. The yolks haven't turned gray or anything. The whites look perfectly cooked, and they slice nicely. Here you go. Here's a whole batch of eggs. You can see how nice and perfect they came out. So anyways, that's 4 easy steps to make it a perfect hard-boiled egg, and having a nice meal prepped for your carnivore or ketogenic diet. Just boil that water, put cold eggs in it from the fridge, let it boil for 13 minutes, dump the water out, put ice water on them. And of course, once you put the ice water on them, those eggs chill through very quickly. And the shock of putting a cold egg in hot water and then turning around and dumping cold water on them helps release the egg white from the shell. So they're very easy to peel. And just getting the timing right. I checked the temperature of the water. The surface temperature, the non-contact thermometer, was only like 188 degrees is what it was reading. So perhaps it's quite a bit warmer down in the water, but I didn't have a good thermometer to put down in the water that would give me an accurate reading. I don't know if some people even care about that. I know I like to measure stuff. I like to have some idea. But anyways, this is just an easy thing. I kind of compiled the tips from multiple people online who had tried this, and I like it just because it saves me time, and it's convenient. And like I said, it's hard to beat the nutrition of the egg and the cost. So anyways, I hope people find this helpful. I know you're probably supposed to ask people to subscribe to your channel at the beginning. I should probably start doing that and hit the little bell icon so you get a notification. And most of all, pass the videos around to people that help. Come visit us on Facebook, all that good stuff. I'll put links in the show notes. And I sincerely hope this helps somebody out. I know this isn't probably the most important content I make, but food prep is the kind of things that people are always asking about. So maybe it has more value than I thought, and certainly something that we all need to do. So anyways, thanks again for watching. Please subscribe, give it a thumbs up, leave a comment.